Hey, coach, so glad you found us on YouTube. Let me help you through this great journey. I have done it. I've won lots of championships, run one of the best programs in the country, coached NBA guys. I can help you become a better basketball coach. Teachhoops.com, I started for the sole purpose of coaches like you. Let me help you. One-on-one calls, office hours, videos with me, you name it, we got it. I am here to help. There's no other place you're going to get the coach's personal email address. I want to be your Yoda. I want to be your mentor. Let me help you through this great journey we call coaching. All right, enjoy, coach.
One.
Yeah, I just won't use that one. That's fine.
All right, thanks.
That was yeah. I'll just delete that one. Okay, so go ahead, Mark. You have questions because I know Jake and I can talk about anything. So
Yes, sure. So you were going to talk about scouting teams. I don't know if that's something you're planning to do in the future. I was going to ask you a question about that. Since I mainly play up to this point zones, whenever I've scouted other people, I haven't really felt like that it was super beneficial. But
okay,
any suggestions,
so
or is
you're
that just
saying
a whole
you
other
run a
topic?
zone. You run a zone, but then when you
Right. So
scout,
I'm not as concerned about what. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm
no,
sorry.
no, no, no. So I just want to make sure I got it right. So you're saying you zone, then you go scout teams, and they're not doing things against zones; they're only doing against man.
Well, I guess I'm not as concerned as much about their individual players and their tendencies and all that type of stuff since I'm not matching up man for man. So maybe that's another topic about what's the best things to look for when you're scouting a
Yeah,
team.
no, 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 no. I think individual tendencies are still good. They're probably not quite as useful than as when you're doing man. Um, some kids like specific. They're one dribble and a shot. They're catch and shoot. They want to attack the rim. I mean, there's all those kind of things that even if you're in a zone or a man, I think are helpful.
Are
Um,
you talking in
Okay.
retrospect of how teams are going to beat you if you're in a certain zone?
say that
I'm
again,
sorry,
Jake.
say it again.
Yeah, louder.
Are you
We
talking
can't hear
in
you.
respect to? Are you talking in retrospective? You're in a certain zone and you're wondering how teams are going to beat you, or vice versa?
More vice versa.
So you're
Okay.
looking at how you can beat them.
Right.
Yeah, so I think it's hard because you got to basically have two. You have to have two different looks. You have to look at what are their weaknesses, how can I exploit it, and then what are our weaknesses and how are they going to try to exploit it. You know what I'm saying? So
Okay.
maybe you're not a great rebounding team and they're a great offensive rebounding team. Well, then that's something we got to work on this week. Or maybe they have specific people. So I think you got to look. When I scout, I look at individual tendencies a lot. Um, 'Cause I think high school is a lot. But if you're playing more zone than man, I look at individual tendencies. But then I also look at what do they do really well. um,
Okay.
and what do they and so what do they do really well that's going to cause us some problems. We'll play teams that will pressure the ball, we'll play teams that will push the ball, we'll play teams that will try to take 45 seconds off. Are any of those things going to affect our outcome? Some of them affect more than others, so then how I prepare that matters. So what they do well and then what they do poorly, I'm going to try to exploit. So,
Gotcha.
and sometimes I can't. Like Jake would know, like LaFollette's team this year, they pressured the ball so well, and we had size advantage, but I was not able to exploit it because of the ball pressure they put upon us. Um, so you're always trying. It's always that chess match of what do they do well, what do they do poorly. How can I exploit their poor thing and minimize their strong thing? Um, Easier said than done, but that's what I'm watching for when I watch tape. I'm obviously watching for tendencies, especially we use Huddle now. It'll break all their, tend to know who their top couple players are. You can watch their individual breakdowns, blah blah blah. What did you used to do, Jake?
One thing I've been really the last couple of years, especially at the collegiate level, is looking at where shots are taken and multiply if they're a right side dominated team. Even at the junior college level, you wouldn't believe the amount of kids that are still very right hand dominated. You can do a lot by forcing teams to the left or shading your zones to the left. I
Yeah,
don't know if that helps you at all, Mark, but like for example, if you're running a 3-2 or a 2-3, having a really strong defender on your left side of that zone that would really designate like the right side of their floor can really, you're making your zone stronger in certain areas where they're most successful, can be beneficial. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point as far as the zone, moving it over a little bit, because
Moving
most of the
and
kids
shifting
are right-handed.
and when we play
Right.
man, we talk about hedging to their weaker. I mean, obviously there's guys in our league that if you give them a quarter of a step, they're going to go around you. Doesn't matter the hand, but there's kids that you can, like, I don't want you to, if you look at the math behind it, if you let someone, let's say they're right-handed, if you let them go right-handed rather than left-handed and try to finish at the basket, it's going to be about 10% higher right-handed than left-handed. You know, they'll still finish at a pretty good clip, but you want to, that could be the difference between winning and losing the game, is whether you're hedging, and especially if you're in a zone, yeah, maybe we want to push them to the left side. I don't remember which opponent we played this year, but oh my God, it was crazy. Like, they're shooting from the left side and the right side. And it was not a statistical small, it was like a sample of like 15 games, 16 games. And it was like 12% lower on the left side than the right side. Corner, wing, top of the key. So we were hedging, we were pushing them right. And then we were gapping it up well, but they just, you know, so it depends which way you want to hedge. I would have pushed them left on that one. I misspoke, but you know what I meant.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's perfect. Are you still going to, at least you suggested on the last call at some point you would take some look at some footage?
I would love to do that. We could set up a time next
week.
week. Yeah. You send me some footage and then we could get together. Yeah, you know, we could even do that tomorrow if you give it to me tomorrow or give it to me today. We could do either tomorrow or Friday. I'll just put it up. We'll break it down and look at it, and I can show you what. That would be fun, Jake, wouldn't it?
Just send you the whole game, or just send you like 5 minutes?
Yeah, you can send me the
5
game.
minutes.
I'll just upload it onto Vimeo, and I can share my screen, and we'll just play it. I've done that before, so we can do that.
Okay, because there's a team that we played this year that was not in our conference, but they will be in our conference next year.
Okay, so why don't we plan on you sending that tonight? We'll take off tomorrow. Can you do Friday, Jake?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll do Friday. That'll give him and I time to actually look at the tape. I don't want to just I'll just watch it in the background while I'm doing other stuff. And then I'll have a better sense. Just tell us which team you are.
Okay, we're the team that lost.
Okay.
If you want to find out.
There probably won't be a scoreboard on the bottom, that was crazy. Wasn't that crazy? I watched the Kentucky Duke game on TV. It was crazy that they didn't have the score on the bottom of the screen the whole game, or a clock. That was 90. That was 92. That wasn't that long ago. I guess it was, but
Right.
It's what we take. Yeah, I know. It was pretty grainy too, but yeah, that would be great.
I have another question. Okay, I'll make a note of that.
Jake, we can't hear you. You got to scream at the screen. Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, perfect.
All right. Mark, when I'm looking at your film, what do you want me to focus on? Because I think you can only do so much unless you give me a couple of essential things that you really want me to look at. Because, basketball is way, you could literally just focus on how your players are finishing around the rim the whole game. Or, what are 4 or 5 or 3, even just 3 things that you really want me to look at?
The answer to that is I don't know. I'm not very good at scouting, and I don't really know what is exactly to look for. Do you understand what I'm saying? I don't really know what I should be.
Okay, so let me reword what Jake said. So you want us to you want to beat this team,
right?
Yeah. Okay, and they're going to be very similar next year, and you're going to be very similar next year.
Right.
Okay. All right. So Jake, you and I off the air can talk about maybe you break some things down. I look at different stuff, so we can figure that out. As far as what we can look at for specifics. What was the?
So I guess Jake, you're asking how to keep their big man from scoring, or how to break the press, or yeah.
How am I evaluating the film? Am I looking at it the lens of how your kids are playing, or what I think you should do to try to beat them next year?
Number 2.
Okay.
How to beat them. Yeah. And it sounds like they're both going to be similar.
Yes, I'd have to check to see how many players they're losing. We're losing our point guard, just one player, and I think they're losing one of their posts, but it should be
Okay.
pretty similar.
Okay.
Are you then gonna definitely probably? What do you think? Can you give me a little bit?
Grab
of
your mic again. Grab your mic again. Grab.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Like, can you give me your arsenal, just kind of some things that you have in your system? So as I'm looking, I could say, oh, this would be pretty good to use, or maybe not. Maybe this would be better to use against them. Like, what are some of the things that you use on your team, or you're thinking about using?
Say that again. Offensively or defensively?
Yeah, so
or
he's saying, what do you run
Well-
offensively? What do you run defensively? So we know what's in your toolbox is basically what he's saying. What's in your toolbox?
Oh, okay. Yeah. So all we ran this year offensively for man, which I think they played us the whole game, is a screen and roll offense. Very
Like a
simple screen and roll, ball screen offense. Correct. That's
Like
all we ran this year for
a
man.
ball screen continuity, or what?
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
That's all we ran this year. And defensively, we played 2-2-1 full court press, which I don't think we pressed them at all. 2-3 zone and a 1-3-1.
No man,
And
no
then-
man to man.
No man-to-man at all. Next year, we're hoping to play like a man with one guy in the middle, so like 4 chasers and one guy, but play more man. But foul trouble's always been our challenge that we're not deep enough for. That's always been my problem. And my kids are aggressive and they foul a lot.
The team that you lost to, do you know anything about the teams that beat them? Did they win like every game last year, or do you know any of their history?
They won. Yeah, they won most of their games, except they got beat in the finals this year by some other team that is about the only team I hadn't seen play this year. So I don't know what they did to them.
Okay. Because it's always interesting to see what other teams do against those strong opponents that you lose to.
Yeah, I don't know what they did to them to beat them. I didn't see them play. I've never seen the other team beat them.
Are they the same like division as you, or are they a grade higher? I don't know how Arizona.
They're higher. They're another division. We have divisions 1, 2, 3, and 4. So in the preseason, we're 1, the smallest. In the preseason, we
state of Wisconsin.
Right.
It's the other way around.
Yeah. So in the preseason, I scheduled extra games. We call them freedom games with divisions in 2, 3, and 4, and we beat some in all the divisions. They're in Division 2, and and we're gonna probably move up to Division 2 next year, so we'll play them.
And do you move up because you won, or do you move up because you?
I don't know. I'm just gonna wait to see next year. They're just we beat everybody in our division pretty easily. All of our competitive games are in higher divisions, so it's based off size of your school, and that's it. But you have the opportunity to move up if you want to play tougher competition.
Okay.
So my thought is I want to play tougher competition next year, but I don't know if they'll move us up or we move up, or I don't know. I'm just going to wait to see, when that happens next year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So if you can send that to me tonight, I'll upload it and then I'll send it off to Jake so he can watch it. And then let's plan on 8:00 on Friday. That'll be good.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Okay.
So let me ask you one other question,
Yep.
and I'll let you go. I know I've taken. One other thing on I remember you saying that you like to double on ball screens if you're playing defensively.
Yeah.
I was wondering, if people are doubling our team, what's the best way to pass out of that, or where the other guys should be in order to counter
Well,
that?
it's whoever's guy. The problem is whoever guys goes to double should come back to the ball, and they don't. They stand and watch. That's why it's effective. On a ball screen, it's like the other guys they tend to stand and watch on those doubles. So everyone's got to fill up and find a spot to fill at that point. And the tendency is to stand. So I haven't found many kids that can pass out of a double very well at the high school level. There's a few. I'm gonna be coaching a couple next year that are pretty good at it, but most kids aren't very effective at that double. So you basically got to teach them to come back to the ball.
So the other three guys,
yes,
the other three guys need to break towards.
Yeah. So the guy
like in a line.
You
like
want
in
to
a
basically,
line.
you want to basically, like if it's a high ball screen, you want to fill the 3 passing lanes. So like sideline, middle, and across court. So just have them flash back to the ball. If you're worried about them turning it over, flash back to the ball. If it's 2 guys, if it's 2-on-2 and the guy's just coming and setting ball screen and we double, then the guy is coming to double needs to find open space so the guy that's getting double can see him. The problem is they roll to the basket, they roll away, they get too far away from that double, and then it's not very successful at that point. What did you used to do, Jake?
I think it all comes down to communication, because then you can get that point guard to be able to use a drag dribble, and you can actually beat them on a advantage disadvantage if you get it if you do it right. And I think, but too often where kids tend to stand and watch that happen.
Yeah, they don't come.
It
they
all
don't come
comes down
back.
to talking and communicating. And then they'll watch, and then even the other players that aren't even involved in the double screen one will stand in the corner, the other guy will sit in the block demanding the basketball where he should be flashing high post and wanting the ball in the high post.
Yep. And what he means by that, what he means is the guy that's getting doubled needs to take 1 or 2 dribbles back and change angles, which is something you can work
attack
on.
Again. And attack again and try to get get past
so
the
it's,
outer guy.
It's like they see it coming. So think about it in terms of war. I see them attacking me. I'm going to retreat and then spread out. So when I see somebody coming at, it's like 1 dribble back and then attack, because they're running at me to double me or coming at me on that screen. Ooh, like if the guy jumps the ball on a ball screen, I'm gonna refuse the screen and I'm gonna go the other way. So I'm gonna dribble back and then go the other direction. Does that make sense? So let's say I'm going to the here. I'll show you. It's easier to show you. Hold on.
Okay.
So let's say offense is these 2 guys. Let's say he's over here. Okay, and the guy I'm shading in here has the ball. Okay, so offense, defense. So this guy comes up to set the screen here, right? So this guy's coming and doubling here, right? Because he's dribbling this direction. I'm going to refuse that, come back, and go the other direction. Does that make sense? So I'm going to attack that. Ooh, I'm going to see the doubles coming. I'm going to 1 dribble back, and then I'm going to refuse it.
Yeah, that's
So forget
that's
first. I'm sorry. Let me just to clarify. So the very first reaction your point guard or whoever is getting jumped is that he shouldn't be picking the ball up and looking to pass out of it. You would suggest doing a retreat dribble and trying to attack and then look to pass out.
This is a really hard move for a lot of high school kids. That's a really hard move. That's why I double a lot, because they just aren't able to do it well. Now, I can't do that with everybody, but I can do that.
You want them to pick up the ball, and you actually can do 2 things on this drawing, right, Steve? So you're talking about you could just not take the screen, just grab and go in the opposite direction because all the action is there.
Yep.
The other thing you could do is that you could take a retreat dribble backwards a couple ways and then have someone come up and you could use the pass, and you're going to have an advantage.
Right. So you come here, pick it up, let them double you, and then we'll call this the offensive player 2. If he just cuts behind, he's wide open. Boom.
Right.
You just don't want him to do this. You don't want him to do this kind of thing because it's too far away. And you just want the 3.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of kids will roll, and they'll be open. That's great. You're open. Shoot.
Or you could have Steve. The other thing I've had them do is if you take put a on the marker by that guy, have him come up to the top of the key. The guy
this guy.
Double. Yeah, the guy that's setting the screen should roll up high, and then that guy dribbles out.
Yeah, like that.
He retrieves. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then you can get him. Yeah. And if you get him to pass, the person that flashes high post, he attacks the middle. You got a 2-on-1 layup to the other
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
So you're saying that the two options is right off the bat, they could just attack the outer side, the guy's hip or whatever, attack the outside and try to penetrate,
Yep.
or take a retreat dribble and then dump it to the guy at the top of the circle and then just attack with those guys.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And that takes some practice.
But don't,
I
right.
would not practice trying to pass through it. I think
No.
you're going to have horrible,
Yes.
unless your
Right.
name is Giannis or
Yes.
LeBron.
Well, if you're 6'11" and have arms
yeah.
like that, then you can do that. But
And
most
based
people,
on the team that you've been talking about, which is a bunch of 6'1" shooters,
right.
I don't think you can do that. I think you can teach kids to be strong and retreat out and work together, or to deny the screen and get to the rim. I think you could be successful either way.
Yep. I do too.
Gotcha.
We'll
Okay, cool.
know more.
Awesome.
We'll watch this and we'll know more if you can do that. Let us
Okay.
watch your players. We'll be able to tell you.
Or just if you can shoot
Okay.
so just shoot it before the
Yeah,
double
shoot it,
pump.
retreat and shoot. You can do the work on the step back.
Just make it rain, dude.
Make it rain. I like that.
You could have a
Yeah, I
call,
like
double
that.
call, and make it rain. Just shoot it,
I like that.
and then you have an advantage for offensive rebounding. They'll never see it coming.
I know. I do like that.
Uh,
All right. So we'll plan at 8 o'clock on Friday, Coach.
okay, cool.
All
All
right.
right. Cool.
Thank
Hey,
Make sure you
Jakes.
delete that.
All right.
Hey, make
Hey, Coach. So glad you enjoyed that video. Hope you did, at least. Let me know how I can help. Join teachhoops.com. I've been through it all. I've won championships, got a lot of rings. Let me know how I can help you become a better basketball coach, too.